नमस्ते एवरीवन, हरे कृष्णा। सबसे पहले तो आई एम रियली हैप्पी कि इतने अच्छे अगस्त गैदरिंग में मुझे आमंत्रित किया गया है। गुरुमूर्ति जी भी यहाँ आए हैं। आई रियली से नमस्ते टू हिम। एंड इन लास्ट फ्यू years this term Indian knowledge system has been popular, but in IIT Mumbai we are teaching this course for last 12 years thanks to Gurumurti ji who took efforts to initiate it, and it's one of the very popular courses जिसमें भारतीय चिंतन पर आधारित बिजनेस और फिनांस ऐसे विषय पढ़ाए जाते हैं। In next 10 to 15 minutes I'll try to talk about sustainability as or sustainable development as and its relationship with Sanatan Dharma Bharatiya principles. So we all know recently this term sustainability has become popular in last 10-15 years more, but it has come more into picture since 1972. This is some chronology on it. Usually when we talk about development, the discussion is development versus ecology. अगर development हो रहा है तो ecology destroy होगी, and the other group says that no, you preserve trees, you preserve ecology, but then it is at the cost of development. Why is it so, and why it should happen as per the modern science? So we know that the existing models, they are mainly capitalist versus communist. प्रोफेसर घंटी मूर्ति जी ने थोड़ा सा उल्लेख किया इसका कि दिस कैपिटलिस्ट मॉडल, आई थिंक इट्स नॉट इवन शुद्ध लाभ, it's all about anaisergic labh. There is an excessive consumption which is assumed in a capitalist model, and it started all around 1770s. बड़ी story है, मैंने just एक दो cartoons दिखाए हैं, and it is based on some type of exploitation. Either it is exploitation of colonies, exploitation of labor. These are all comics taken from European sources only, because initial phases it was tremendous exploitation of labor and also the colonies, and even today exploitation of consumers. That's the basis of capitalism. And as a response to capitalism, communism was put forth, and it talked about शोषण मुक्ति and समानता, कि सभी को समान rights होंगे, and all good things they spoke. But we know that within few years it led to as much as 10 crore deaths, mainly in China and Russia, but everywhere, wherever communism is. So it, world understood that this is not the solution. अभी बताया गया एक शून्य लाभ है. I think that's correct, because nothing really came out of it. But at the same time, around 1990s, as the communism collapsed, capitalism became a default model, and everybody started to talk about open markets, etc. In Bharat, we know LPG, so-called LPG was adopted, but the deficiencies of capitalism were ignored, as if there was no other option. So we know that capitalism talks about market economy, but it gets converted into market society, जहाँ पे कि सारे सामाजिक संबंध भी profit driven है, rather greed driven है, and it has come to a situation where even family has been marketized, family has been into greed. मैंने बहुत सारे slides have avoided, but we all know the data that how much problems are there about family and one mother households all over the, especially wherever there is a developed world. So wherever you have high income, so-called high income countries, you don't see society very healthy. So there are problems of society as well as family, which are essentially attached to capitalist model. And then we know आज का हमारा विषय sustainability का है कि ये सब जो हो रहा है वो भयंकर शोषण करते हुए हो रहा है. We are literally destroying the nature in the bid to increase fast and growth of GDP and all these things. There is also some interesting research, and there is a very good paper by Lynn White published in 1967, which talks about historical roots of ecological crisis. And what Lynn White has brought into light is that it is the Christianity which talks about human beings having a right to take all resources from nature to any extent. And that is what really led to destruction, because not only Hindu Sanatan viewpoint, but all native religions, or if we don't want to call them religions, faiths, always used to consider nature as sacred. So तब भी लोग नेचर से रिसोर्सेस लेते थे, बट जितना आवश्यक है उतना लेते थे. Whereas Christianity told that you can just take and you have a right to destroy nature, and it is good and it will bring in more ROI if we do it faster. And I'll not go into more details. So, but this talks about that one is it established a dualism that man and nature are different, and that's why we should take more, and faster we exploit it is good because ROI would go up. So while this Lynn White paper says that Christianity brought in these problems because human beings started destroying at a very fast rate, even secularism has no answer to environmental problems, because secularism removed sacredness of the nature. उसके पहले लोग सोचते थे कि ये ट्री मैंने नहीं काटना चाहिए, this river I should not hurt, I should just take as much water as I need. But because secularism removed sacredness of everything that was natural, people lost guilt whenever they destroyed any natural resource. So secularism is not the answer either. And we know that our integral approach, which our Sanatan Dharma takes, which is called as Akhanda Mandal, you can see this is a spiral starting, and at the center is an individual, because we never say कि सभी लोग सन्यासी बन जाओ और everybody can go to that level. We would be at individual, but we also have a capacity to expand our consciousness. So from individual to family to society to nation to nature and ultimately to Parmeshti. Of course, all common people may not reach Parmeshti, but at least उनका consciousness बढ़ते जाएगा. We become one with family. We can become one with society. ये भी हो सकता है कि sometimes we go to nation level, again we come back. It's possible. But overall, because of this Akhanda Mandal, this spiral, there is a unity. And that's what brings in lesser consumption. We consume only to the extent needed. And this duality that either you have development or you can preserve ecology is not required as per our Sanatan thought process. And our thought process talks about cycle of subsistence, which is actually yajna. ये थोड़ा सा error है. And so we have got vyashti and samashti. Vyashti is a smaller entity. It can be individual versus family, or it can be family versus samaj or nature, जो भी होगा. So it is expected that we always, suppose Vyashti we take as an individual, we get Yogakshema from our family. So when we are small, essentially we are taken care by the family. So as we grow up, it is our duty to give back our karma. So there is no need for us to expect back something. We have already got Yogakshema and we are giving back our karma as we grow up. हम इसको family और society भी देख सकते हैं, क्योंकि सोसाइटी हमारे फैमिली को इतना सब दे रहा है. सो एज वी ग्रो अप वी हैव टू गिव बैक आवर कर्म टू सोसाइटी, एंड व्हाट वी गेट बैक इज अ कर्मफल. वी नो इन कर्मयोग इट सेज दैट वी शुड ओनली थिंक ऑफ आवर कर्म, वी शुड नॉट लुक एट कर्मफल. डजंट मीन कर्मफल नहीं आएगा, कर्मफल विल कम, बट आवर अटेंशन शुड बी ओनली फोकस्ड ऑन कर्म. एंड व्हेन वी गेट कर्मफल, we have to give back even more, and that is yajna. So this is the Sanatan understanding, and this is the cycle of subsistence. If we keep on just taking from the larger entity, after some time it will stop giving. Whereas our Sanatan concept says that we have to give back more. Of course, in return we'll get back even more. Again we have to give back, and ऐसा cycle अगर ये चक्र चलता रहेगा, so this will be a sustainable kind of model. So it goes on expanding. So now world talks about sustainability. This is a Western understanding of it. कि ये तीनों रहेगा, ये तीनों रहेगा, social, environment and ecological, then it will be sustainable. This is what we cover more in our course, कि भारतीय अर्थ चिंतन क्या है. So this is kind of summary, Western versus Indian. This doesn't mean every white person would be following and every Indian is on this side. At least theoretically, भारतीय या सनातन है, ये इस टाइप पे हैं. We are also into Western thought process for last 100 or 150 years. But anyway, so this is materialistic, where versus Bharatiya is holistic, comfort driven. We also want comfort, but ultimate objective is happiness. Then individualistic versus collective, competition versus cooperation. We know that even modern management science, even in Western context, has now understanding importance of team spirit, collectiveness, etc. क्योंकि ultimately this is a human knowledge. ये सभी के लिए है, though we are putting it as भारतीय. इसमें थोड़ा और डिटेल में डाला है, जैसे in Western systems man is considered as a material being, whereas there it is human being is physical plus mental, intellectual plus spiritual and so on. In the interest of time, I'll move ahead. So Western is revolves around artha plus kama, making more money and enjoying it for oneself, whereas we have got 4 purusharthas. So we do have artha kama within boundaries of dharma and moksha, और बहुत सारे points है, but I'll just skip it now. And these are some more papers as to how Bharatiya knowledge helps preservation of ecology and so on. So this is Indian cultural heritage and environmental conservatism. So some more examples were there, I'll skip them. So because we attached sacredness to the nature, automatically sustainability was taken care. Even many of the modern thinkers have written about it. So ये एक थोड़ा सा summary है comparing दादा भाई नौरोजी, महात्मा गांधी, बाबा साहेब अम्बेडकर, राम मनोहर लोहिया जी, पंडित दीनदयाल उपाध्याय जी and so on. Lastly, I'll end with this, that Yogi Aurobindo ji ने 100 years before कहा था, around 1911, that India shall rise on the ruins of the West. And today we really see that Western thought processes are being increasingly challenged by themselves, and world is understanding they're not sustainable. And we hope that Bharatiya model is sustainable. This is the course which I was talking about, and Gurumurti ji here is, and we have also written one chapter, Indigenous Indian Management. This is a book in which we have written a chapter on it, and these are some more research papers on it. With this, I'll thank. Namaste. Dhanyavad.